What do we have to do so that it's not boring after 3 minutes?
Yeah, bro. I saw that view, man. It was like 3 minutes and off. I was like, dang, the Greasy Goose gonna do us like that? It's not greasy, bro.
Yeah, it's not very greasy. Are you entertained right now?
Rough crowd.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're fine.
Yeah. If we can get Wiley to watch more than 3 minutes, we're winning.
True.
Did I tell you what he did the other morning?
Yeah.
That's funny as
Broke
shit.
her ego down.
Yeah.
Stomped you down first morning.
It's kind of boring. They're just talking about this guy's stuff.
Tell me the story of the Greasy Goose.
Oh, me and Dub were doing content in the airplane here a while back out at the hangar. And no AC in the airplane or anything, so it's hot as shit in there. And he was standing in the back by the air stair door, so he kept running up and down doing stuff. And every time he'd run up and down, since Dub wasn't behind the camera setup to keep it stable, it was like falling over. So he went to run out again, and I said, no, do not get off the airplane again. You stay here. And he's like, oh, I'm thirsty. I need something to drink. I said, then open that drawer and get a water or something out of there, out of the airplane deal. And so the drawer he pushed to open was the one with all the little mini liquor bottles in it. And he grabs one out and he goes, what is Greasy Goose? It was a bottle of Grey Goose, and he read it wrong. And we just busted out laughing. And it just so happened at the time that we were entertaining nicknames for his racing stuff. He's like, he needs a racing nickname, and dude,
there you go.
The Greasy
Goose. So good for racing, and
perfect.
Yeah, and it was funny as
sticking
shit.
with it, right?
Yeah, so he renamed his YouTube channel and everything to the Greasy Goose. So had to restart it. Yeah.
You got canceled, bro?
He got canceled. They found out he wasn't 25.
And he was sponsored by Grey Goose. That's
exactly.
The issue.
So he, I guess, whenever you're under a certain age on that platform, if you live stream and you're under a certain age, it like flags it, and it like shut his account down, and
dang,
he had to start all over. But it's all good. Now he's got the Greasy Goose channel. Yeah, he was trying to run like 5 different channels, and I finally convinced him to just do it under one brand, like all of your stuff, your racing, your 3D printing, your animals, just do it in one place. So
nice.
It's doing good though.
Heck yeah,
having fun with it.
Right on.
Yeah. The Greasy Goose is 12 today.
Bro, happy birthday, man.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Nice. I'll give you a bottle of bourbon on the way out, man. It's okay, real quick.
Dude, you just need to chill out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look a little tense.
Yeah,
huh?
you look super tense, bro.
Yeah, sorry.
Here, man.
You don't want to do that, boss.
Next thing you know, his shirt's off.
No, definitely not.
It's like if I screw this up, we can cut that shit.
Oh yeah, lots of editing, man.
Yeah, like that episode with Daniel that we released the other day. The original recording was 1 hour and 5, and it cut about 15 minutes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of that was ums and ands.
All I was thinking watching is like, these guys are really good talkers. I saw a couple cuts. I was like, yeah, this guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I say that's awesome way too much.
Dude, that needs to be on some swag, man. That's awesome. Is this episode sponsored by Slate? I like that product placement, man.
Yeah, I don't like that. We need to get...
Here, throw it in the Air Force One mug, man.
That works. Air Force One.
It's really from Air Force One.
Is it? Holy shit. That's cool.
It's going to taste so much better, bro. What do you call the contraption you rode up on?
Contraption?
A one wheel.
A one wheel. Like, how do you gauge
how many wheels it has?
Dude, I had that figured out. I counted it on my fingers. How do you gauge, like, how long it's going to take you to get somewhere? Like, do you have how fast you generally go? Like, how do you calculate that?
A lot of luck. I mean, I barely made it on time today, but I can go about 20 miles an hour. I just kind of go through cul-de-sacs. To go from Western Plateau, let's say, down to the tower, I can do it in about 20 minutes.
Dang.
You know, just kind of running through the cul-de-sacs and just kind of cruising at 20 miles an hour on the roads that kind of have bike lanes.
Yeah.
So...
Have you ever biffed it, like, super hard?
I was going to ask him how 20 miles an hour on your face felt.
Dude, that's what I was thinking.
I've wrecked a lot. We call it a nosedive, you know, so it's got a motor in there, and it keeps it hovering, right? But if you overpower the motor or, you know, outrun how fast the motor can spin, so the front slams down and you go.
Does it click like that?
My bones do.
How long you been riding that thing?
About 4 years. I got about 3,500, 4,000 miles on a one wheel.
Oh my gosh!
You did sell your other one though, didn't you?
I did sell my unicycles. Yeah, I probably got about 3,000 to 4,000 miles on the unicycles.
Like a regular, like manual unicycle, or
no, like an electric unicycle.
Electric unicycle.
He has a really cool clown nose he wears while he pedals
around. Yeah. So it's like the one wheel, but you stand more like you're skiing, right? And they got suspension.
A snowboard and a ski.
Yeah, they got bigger batteries though and suspension and stuff. I can hit I think I hit 55. I got past cars going down Coulter.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
How'd you get started in that?
Yeah, I walked into a store and saw one wheel one day, and I was like, yeah, I'll just buy that and check it out. And then I kind of got hooked and just went the whole way into it. And then being Amarillo, we don't have very good bike lanes or sidewalks. I mean, you go to different towns and it's, so set up for that. So that's a big pet peeve of mine. So, when you're trying to get somewhere like here, cars, if that can only go 20 miles an hour, cars are going 35, 40. So it kind of just felt unsafe to me for a while. So. Yeah. That's where I was like, well, a unicycle can go 50, 60 miles an hour. So if I can go 35 only to keep up with traffic, then that's what I'll do. So that's where I got into the unicycles. And then, of course, 35 wasn't enough. So you got to go more, and then you got to go more. And then you start, we've done a lot of off-road stuff on them. And
you take it to the canyon, or?
One of my favorite places to go is Bentonville, up in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So they're kind of mountain bike capital.
Called the rail yard or something like that?
Yeah, there's a place called the Rail Yard. It's a big, jump park, that's built. And then they got Kohler Mountain up there. They got the Slaughter Pen recreational area. That's pretty awesome. A lot of trail building. I think it's the Walton's that own Walmart. They dumped quite a bit of money in there. And I mean,
how many feet is that big drop you did last time you went out there?
I think 14 foot.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's dropping 14 foot on a freaking on a unicycle.
Dang.
It's
crazy.
I last time I went up there, I was kind of like, man, it's probably my last time. I'm kind of getting my knee. It's been bothering me, so I went and did every obstacle I could find up there. There was a few there's a place called the Boneyard that's really, known for its sketchiness. And I went and did everything in there. I was like, I'm going to try it out.
The boneyard, the slaughterhouse,
slaughter pen, yeah.
Slaughter pen. This is a brutal sport.
Yeah. So,
nice.
The one with the big 14-foot drop is called Cease and Desist, So, yeah, getting older.
Getting old. My knee.
Getting old. My knee's causing me problems. And I was like, yeah, I better, at least if I wreck on that, it's only 20 miles an hour,
Yeah.
And so, and with work and everything, I just kind of, you're so limited on time. And I was just kind of looking at both from sitting there and, the unicycle is, you got to really gear up. I mean, you're going fast. You go on big, long rides. And the one wheel's kind of more like, I just want to go take 30 minutes to go ease my mind and just kind of float around over here.
It's your daily driver.
Yeah, it's just yeah, exactly. So I kind of was just like, I'll just keep one. That was where my
one wheel world, whenever they ride those around, they call it floating.
Yeah, so go for a float.
I gotta go for a float. I'm like, it totally sounds like a stoner sport to me.
Oh no, it is a stoner sport.
And, every time he starts talking about it, he shifts from his normal personality to you think he's a total pothead because he just has that vibe to him. Just man, I'm gonna go for a float. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's relaxing.
You need to start a podcast called Flyin High.
Dude, it's only one thing I can't do that would make floating better.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
damn drug programs.
Yeah,
gotta be all safe in aviation.
Dare.
Dare.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
So, yeah, that's kind of the whole backstory on that. So,
what's kind of your backstory with Haven?
So I started in Haven about 4 years ago, or a little over 4 years. Still waiting on my pie from Robin, by the way. She was supposed to give me a pie in July, but she didn't. But
why? You can't just breeze past that.
Yeah, I know.
Why are pies in the equation?
And my anniversary pie. It was a 4-year anniversary pie, and I didn't get it.
Pie every year, and she's missed her 4th year anniversary pie. Gotcha. He's still bitter over it 9 months later, 6 months later.
Dude, that's some Amish stuff right there, man.
That's your roots, man.
It is.
Not a happy birthday, not a pie, nothing. It's kind of there now.
Yeah, I had a birthday last week, and it was midnight. I texted him, I go, yeah, forgot it's your birthday, sorry. It's totally being taken for granted now.
I figured she'd make an extra big pie for my birthday since she missed the.
Right.
I didn't get it. Robin does make good pies.
Yeah.
She does.
She's going to have to do like a 3-tier pie now.
You know what her pie business we started was called?
What's that?
Homemade pies.
Oh my goodness. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny.
That needs to come back.
Yeah, we kind of got a little busy building the airplane world, but if Robin had her way, she would be at home making pies.
Nice. Dude, I'm hungry now.
Now we all need a pie.
Why don't we have snacks?
Strawberry rhubarb pie.
True. So 4 years ago.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we got off on the pie. Yeah, just kind of picked up, Travis fired me 3 months prior at the other job, so it's all good. He was waiting for me to leave, so I left my old job and went to Tennessee, and then I swear he knew my wife was pregnant and all that. I always joke about that. Wife got pregnant. I was having a terrible day at work that day. It was hot. I was in the back of a hellhole of this aircraft, and just one of those, it was July in Chattanooga, so the humidity was high, and
man.
I was living in a motor or a fifth wheel, so it was like the perfect storm. Like, oh shit, I need to get some insurance and get a real job, not be a contractor. And hey, you ready to come back? I was like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm typing in a GPS right now. I'll pay for my own fuel. I'll pay you the first month. Let's go.
Hopped on your one wheel and
yeah,
carried everything you owned on his back.
It's an 87-hour journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Good thing they got those superchargers everywhere now.
Yeah.
Right.
Tesla. Does Tesla make a one wheel?
Well,
dude, I hope they do.
The community,
the X wheel, but
the EUC community is figured out how to make these plugs that they can plug into those, and then they have these big chargers so they can charge their wheels in 30 to 45 minutes at 18 amps. Just dig it in there.
You can have exploding one wheels all over the place.
There's a guy that just took the Leprechaun wheel, the big one, all the way from across the United States. He went basically the whole way.
Forrest Gumped it.
2,500 miles or something.
Tired. I think I'll go home now.
And that's what he did. He just charged up at those stations and kept going. And he was old. He was I think in his 50s. I might be saying that wrong.
Say 40.
I know, me too. I was ready to be offended.
Yeah.
I was ready to be angry.
But, yeah, so that's kind of how I got back into Amarillo. I feel like once you come to Amarillo, you kind of get stuck. You're here.
It's an easy place to live.
Yeah. Can't beat the people and the cost of living.
That's for sure. Yeah. What's kind of your role at Haven?
I don't know.
What sort of a company are you running, bro?
Not a good one.
Whatever they text me that day, man, I just kind of all over.
You just roll with it?
Yeah.
Just roll with it. I texted him yesterday and said, hey, you're going to be on the podcast tomorrow. And he said, all right.
It's happening.
It depends what day. Saturdays, I'm a podcast guy,
Yeah, he's in the middle of a role change right now. So he's been running our Amarillo maintenance department for the last 2 years. He was my director of maintenance on the 135 charter company for a couple of years before that. And now he's the unfortunate soul that gets to be my special projects manager. So you know what they say, if you do a really good job, you get rewarded with a lot more work. So he's in that situation right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd probably hold out for the pie before you sign, man. You got leverage right now.
I do. You're
It's
right.
about to go away, though.
Yeah, I'll have to. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I haven't signed nothing yet. I have to one pie a month now. We're going to.
I got this guy. Thanks,
dude,
man.
It got expensive. A pie a month.
How much are these pies?
Would it cost you a lot less to be proactive, wouldn't it?
A pie a month.
Pie of the month.
Pie of the
month.
That's the next level for these homemade pies.
Can we all agree that strawberry rhubarb pie is one of the best?
No.
I have had one of those, and it was delicious.
New Mexico apple pie is the best. Green chili and piñons and apples.
Dude, the Mexicans are weird about green chili, bro. What's going on in the world of aviation today, bro? What's the hot news?
Oh, I don't know.
You just told me when you came in that towers were down, and I was guiding us back to.
Oh, we were getting out of the fruit talk.
I think it's about time. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I haven't had a chance to dive into what's going on with all these towers this morning, but I just caught some of the headlines, and one of my guys is stuck out on the road because of it, and I guess like the interwebs
on the line.
All the interwebs went down. No, at DFW, the DFW and Love, I guess, are shut down, and then something to do with their communications down there. And then since they're shut down, all these other airports are going into overflow and canceling, and they even shut down like Boston Logan for GA traffic because everyone's backlogged everywhere because those two center hubs are down. And so like Atlanta, Boston, Vegas, I think even O'Hare's getting jacked up now. Like a whole cluster this morning.
Does that happen often, or is this like a outlying occurrence?
It's been getting a lot more frequent the last few years. Like that infrastructure is just old and dated and falling apart and prone to problems. So a lot of the focus is on the FAA DOT side right now is trying to upgrade all their infrastructure. Like obviously that really terrible accident out in DC where that helicopter and the airplane went together, and there's been a lot of instances, a rising number of instances in the last couple of years where we're having air traffic issues, a combination of experience level and staffing levels with controllers, but also we just haven't kept up with the available technology on the like the radars. They're still using like a lot of them are still using like the old green beep 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 radars and
like Hunt for the Red Octobers.
Yeah, like shit like that. And there's just way better stuff out there now. So they just passed some legislation to upgrade all that stuff. So over the next couple of years, it's a big priority to upgrade our whole aviation infrastructure side. So, and now they've rehashed how they're doing their control tower operators and their training programs, and they're putting some emphasis on all that. So I think they'll get it all turned around here pretty quick. Seem to be doing a really good job of focusing on it and getting it fixed, but just one more example this morning of it. And since I haven't had a chance to really read into what's going on with it, I'm assuming it's probably going to come back to dated infrastructure type stuff. But who knows? It could be a malware attack, spyware attack, could be some kind of hack. No, I don't know what it is yet. But gambling on it, I would say it's probably going to be some kind of a dated infrastructure issue. So
when something like that happens, does it shut down like the private aviation space as well, or are those flights still?
It depends. If you're the likelihood of you being able to get somewhere if you're private is way higher because the commercial airline sector, they're only servicing somewhere around 500 airports in the whole country, and the private aviation, they're servicing somewhere around 5,500 airports. So
Dang.
Down in Dallas is a good example. It's DFW and Love are the only two real commercial airports, but there's 6-7 other alternate airports you can use if you're in a private airplane. So those two major airports are shut down. I don't know the exact circumstance this morning, but I'm willing to bet out of Addison or Meacham or one of those other airports, you can probably still get in and out of there today in a private. Same thing like at Boston Logan shut down, and that one is affecting GA because it got so saturated from overflow. You'll have to go to a reliever airport up there, but most of the time you can find an alternate way to get in and out somewhere if you're private. As long as you're not sitting there when it gets shut down, you're just as hosed as anybody. But.
So speaking of being hosed, we had Daniel Kramer.
Dude, Daniel's such a badass.
On the initial episode. Yeah. That was a great episode, man. Yeah. And I think it's hilarious. The luchador, the hoser, their whole mascot deal. And
the rap videos.
Yeah, man. Crimping ain't easy.
Crimping ain't easy.
That was fire, man. What stood out to you in that episode? Because I know, like, when I have a compelling conversation with someone, like, later on, I'm like, man, my mind will go back to a specific thing, and I'm like, man, I wish I had added that, or I'll just, like, really think deeper into it. What stands out to you from that episode?
Well, Daniel and I have been friends for a while. Like, I know Daniel outside of that podcast, so I just know what a cool person he is. And one of my favorite things about him and anybody is just that they're true to themselves and they have integrity. Like, I can get along with anybody as long as they're real. Like, and Daniel's just a super real dude. Like, he doesn't give a shit what you think or don't or not. He's raw and real. Totally respect and appreciate that in him and anybody that's like that. So that's why I was super excited that he agreed to jump on there and be on an episode with us. My whole MO is just transparent, honest, no bullshit. And he's that kind of guy. And so that's why it was fun talking to him and the whole thing about non-competes and companies trying to hold people hostage and that kind of stuff. I've been in the situation in the past where I was sued over a non-compete thing. Nothing came of it, but I got all the paperwork. And So I was in that position before I owned my own company where someone was trying to do that to me. And he's exactly right, where you get that and you're like, the hell am I going to do? Like, I don't have the money to go fight this and, go up against this big company. That whole thing he was talking about, how it kind of terrorizes the family.
Yeah.
Luckily, ours didn't get to the point where it was like this big deal, but you do have that moment of like, what the fuck? Like, this is not cool at all. So I've been on the other side of that he was talking about, like that the three dick guy is going through right now. And it's a terrible situation. And in my situation, I didn't do anything wrong either. It was that same situation where they just wanted to try to use it as a bully tactic. And so I've been on the employee side of that and felt the ramifications of that on that side of it. And now as a business owner, I have to navigate it because I do need to protect my company and my clients. And so now I can see where some people think that's the solution to go that way as a business owner. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I'm as black and white as Daniel is on it, because I do see some circumstances where people come into your company, they gain proprietary information, they gain customer lists, all this kind of stuff, that they could go out there and severely harm your company with that if they had nefarious intent on doing so. So I do think there's maybe a time and a place where it's appropriate, but this broad brush of using it as a bully tactic and a fear tactic and all that kind of stuff is just total bullshit. And I agree with him 100% on all of that. There's a narrow bandwidth in my mind where you're dealing with a nefarious employee that's trying to cause harm to your business, that you might need that there to help protect that. But it's more on the intellectual property and that kind of stuff. But take a regular mid-level guy that's just trying to improve his life, and then you want to go try to terrorize him to keep all your other employees there. It's just total horseshit. And I think Daniel would probably, I don't know, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't, but I kind of suspect he would understand that side of it too. He's looking at it for where his employees are getting terrorized by for no reason. To me, that's where the line is. I just like the fact that he has the balls to go out there and like put it out in the public sphere and not fight that battle behind closed doors, and shed some light on the fact that that's going on and helping to protect the working class guys out there. So
yeah, I loved it that he published the letter that they sent him.
Yeah,
that's so funny, man.
He's a cool guy. He's got a different spin on the world for sure.
What stood out to you in that episode?
Exactly what you said when he posted that letter online. I was like, that's pretty ballsy. I love it,
Yeah.
But just kind of what Travis said, he's real, Definitely, I was thinking to myself, that's a guy I would work for. Just from watching an hour video with him, he's there for his employees. So
yeah,
that definitely stood out. But yeah, just that I don't give a shit attitude. This is what it is. I loved it.
Or is it I give a lot of shit attitude?
Well, not giving a shit about the other companies is what I meant. You know what I mean? He's worried about his people, not what the other people think.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought was pretty impressive,
Yeah.
The situation he's in as well, where he's not a startup founder. He inherited a family company, and for him to have the care and compassion for his people that he has, and the way he looks at things as a second generation business owner, I thought was pretty cool. It shows a lot of integrity on his part. He came in there and he scaled that company a lot since he's been there. It's got his DNA all over it, and to still be that passionate about it, where he's like, it's all I want to do. It's what I love doing, and I don't want to do anything else. I just thought it's really cool. I've seen some other situations where companies, the original startup founders, super passionate and all this, but then the next generation that comes along and the kids that come along, I think it's a tightrope to walk to not turn them into entitled little shitheads.
Right.
So for him to be that down to earth and that humble and that passionate in his situation is freaking cool. Just speaks a lot to his character, I think.
Yeah, I liked what he said about he wasn't big on leaving his kids money. He wanted to leave his kids some purpose and fulfillment. And I was thinking about, I heard somebody say, I can't remember who, or I'd give him credit, but they said inheritance is what you leave for your kids. Legacy is what you leave in your kids. And I was like, man, that is
super cool.
That's such a good statement. And yeah, man, how do you pass on the value for purpose and fulfillment? And then obviously if you're able to leave some funding to help fund that purpose that leads to fulfillment, and that's a whole different story. So I appreciated that.
In my situation right now, I got Greasy Goose over here that's 12, and his sister that's 12. They're twins, and they're not that far away from me, having to figure out what do we do, how do we handle that, and so that's why it's high on my radar. Watching that with Daniel and seeing how that went for him, and I've got another business partner that's got kids that are grown now, and they're in that situation where they just as easily could have not turned out the way they do, and they both turned out to be phenomenal people, and so there's a lot of them out there, but I'm honed in on watching those situations, so I can use them as clues for me on how to navigate my situation. So.
This episode is brought to you by Haven ASG. Looking to buy your first private aircraft or upgrade your current bird? Travis and the team at Haven Aviation Services Group has you covered. From finding the jet of your dreams to selling your old model, our expert brokerage teams handle every detail, connecting you to the right deal for the right aircraft every time. Visit havenasg.com/Flyin High today for your custom experience to begin. Again, that's havenasg.com/Flyin High, or just click the link in the show notes. Now back to the show.
How'd your corporate deal go last night?
Went good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Feel pretty hard in it?
Yeah. I'm always hard on myself, right? But I'd give myself like a 7.
Were they all laughing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dug it, so.
He does stand-up comedy, and he had a company hired him to do like a private stand-up comedy show for him.
Right on.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Legit.
Tried out some new bits. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
You didn't bomb like that guy we watched the other night?
Oh, no. No.
Dude, that guy was so painful.
Yes.
Oh, it was terrible. Oh,
That's
and then
bad.
Like stand-up comedy would be pretty hard.
Oh,
like
brutal.
Like just
Standing there on your
mentally
own.
challenging. You know what I mean? Like no one laughs at what you thought was funny, and then the rush just comes down. I'm like, oh shit.
We were at when we went to Fort Worth the other night. We found one and went in there to just like an open mic, kind of, sort of, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it, but they just had a bunch of comedians coming up in a few minutes, and the whole entire front row around the stage was all these guys there for an insurance conference. So they're insurance guys, and they were all from like Alabama and Mississippi, all deep South guys. And this guy gets up there, and the first joke he tries to make is a Charlie Kirk joke. Dude,
no laughs, bro.
Not a giggle in that whole facility, and it went downhill pretty rapidly from there. It was bad.
Yeah.
I always prep like recovery lines, right? So because this company was like in heating and air, I asked the owner beforehand when I was prepping, like, what's like the worst, like, what's the worst AC unit like everybody in the industry knows? And he was like, oh, Goodman AC units. And so
I got 3 of those.
he'd up your game. And so like the first joke that like didn't go well, I was like, that joke was brought to you by Goodman. And then like you get the pop, and so you recover.
Oh yeah, funny as a little inside joke.
Yeah, that worked well. I asked him, like, hey, has anything funny happened in your company that's like an ongoing joke? And they had this guy that always walks around with a toothpick in his mouth, and he swallowed a toothpick. It was like a big deal, right? And so I have this bit that I already do about this dog, and I was like, man, he passed away, swallowed a toothpick, and like, boom, because tap into that inside joke in the company. Funny. So it's weird. So corporate gigs are different than because everybody's a little bit uptight, and like your boss is there, and it's bright lights, But if you're able to weave in some of that inside stuff, then everybody kind of comes together,
Yeah, make them forget they're at a corporate gig.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Overall, good time.
I bet you can do good with those. What was that place called we went to the other night? You remember?
The Big Laugh.
The Big Laugh. That's what it was called. That place was pretty cool the way it was set up, though. Like, you'd walk by all those bars to go back there into the back, and I like that setup pretty good.
Yeah, Beth and I saw Fiona Colley there on a weekend, and so it was like sold out, right? And it was cool because we got tickets to the late show, so the early show was still going on, and so that bar was hopping with people that were coming for the late show specifically, and they let out, the second show went in, and it's a good setup.
Figure out a way to get one in Amarillo, huh?
That's the plan, man.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
So Daniel had mentioned like his plane was in the shop and what a pain it is to have to bum rides and I know that like when it comes to sharing aircraft, that's like an area you got to be like super buttoned up on. What would you say to that?
Yeah, that was what he was referring to, he kind of touched on it in there that you got to be careful about sharing airplanes. So, like when you're operating an aircraft, a private aircraft, you either operate under Part 91 regulations, which is private use. It's your airplane, your pilots, you're using the airplane, and you can't charge people to use your airplane when you're flying under regular Part 91 rules. And in order to go charge people to use an airplane, you have to be under what's called Part 135 regulations, which means commercial use, and it can be either scheduled or on-demand commercial use. We run into this a lot with people that, they don't know. They just have their airplane, and some guy calls them up. One of their buddies is like, hey, I need to go here and there, and sure. The ones that are really out of the loop that don't know, they'll say, yeah, give me $5,000 an hour, and you can go wherever you want. Huge no, you can't do that. That is totally against the rules. There are pathways with fractional ownership and some reimbursement and some other things you can do in Part 91. But the point is, you got to be really careful about it. Or if you're operating Part 135, then the FAA is a lot more scrutinizing on what qualifications your pilots have, what kind of training you have, what kind of maintenance program you have on the aircraft. Therefore, the government is watching over the safety side of it to make sure that unknowing consumers and the public aren't getting on dangerous aircraft. And so that's why, we have Part 91 aircrafts that we manage, that we just fly the owner and his people around on. But our primary thing that we're doing is on the Part 135 side, where it's for commercial use. A lot of owners, they go and buy an airplane and they only use it 1 or 2 days a month, and they're still paying for pilots, hangars, insurance. They're still paying for all the things, all the fixed expenses on the airplane, but they're only utilizing it a couple days a month. So if they come and put it on a 135 certificate, then we can go and we have a market where we can go out, and people like Daniel are in a situation where their aircraft's down, or a lot of people just don't want to own an aircraft. They just want to go charter an aircraft, and that's what we fill the gap on. And so some guy's aircraft that he's not utilizing, they call us and they say, hey, we need to go here to here. Since we're a commercial operator, we can then charge them to go take that flight, and because we have the FAA regulatory oversight to do that. That's just one of those things I want, like any newer aircraft owner, to not get in that jam, because we've been in this situation so many times where an owner kind of gets himself in some hot water unknowingly. And the liability side of it's huge. If you own that aircraft and you're loaning it out to somebody, even if you're not charging them, you're the one that's liable for it, because you're considered the operator on that aircraft. Whenever you go to a 135 provider, then the operational control shifts over to the operator, which is the role that we would be filling in. So now it gives you about the best liability shield you can have from you having any responsibility of it. Even if you own the aircraft, we're the one in operational control of that aircraft. So it comes, if there's any issues, anything from running over some line guy's foot to bumping into a car to a bad accident, that liability then rests on the operator and not on the owner of the aircraft. So it's a pretty big deal, and that's what he was referring to in there. Is because I don't know Daniel's ever had that problem or not, but at least he's a savvy enough owner and smart enough to know that there are some guidelines around that he has to follow. So unfortunately, a lot of people learn the really hard way that you're not supposed to do that.
Got to mind your P's and Q's, man.
Yeah. It's a weird thing too, and it's a sentiment I sympathize with, but it's just not the way it is. It's my aircraft. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want with it. Well, yeah, I get the sentiment, but if you don't want to get yourself in a lot of trouble,
yeah,
I'm very much the same way. If it's my stuff, I don't want someone else telling me how to do it. But to be fair, there have been a lot of people out there that put people in dangerous situations because they're just greed mindset. They just want to go get the money, so they're cutting corners on maintenance. They're hiring low-time, untrained pilots and all that. And people that are getting in the back of that aircraft, they don't know any different. They're just trusting that the safety factor is there. So there is a legitimate reason why it's that way. It is pretty important to know where the boundaries are.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of From the Flight Deck. Next Friday, Flyin High is back with a brand new episode. Let's take a look.
Someone else in the seat, that looked like the president, we had to positively identify that particular person using technology without touching the president.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been cleared for takeoff. You are now flying high with Travis LeMans.